Vernon Ah Kee is a renowned Australian artist with both Chinese and Indigenous Australian heritage. His great-grandfather on his dad's side was Chinese, who settled in far north Queensland in the late 19th century. And while Vernon identifies more with his Indigenous heritage, he proudly carries his Chinese identity through his name. Vernon is best known as an activist artist. His work highlights racial issues, especially the prejudice experienced by Indigenous people. His art covers a broad range of mediums and styles, including painting, drawing, video, installations, and text-based art. But his most outstanding works are large portraits in charcoal, pencil, or acrylic paints. Some of these are up to 3 meters tall. A lot of Vernon's work is inspired by his family members. Through portraits of his family, he explores what it means to be Indigenous. He is currently one of the most active contemporary artists in Australia and had been selected to represent the country to the most prestigious international exhibitions, including the Venice Biennale. In 2018, the Australian Council for the Arts awarded him a prestigious fellowship for visual arts. Vernon was born in 1967 in Innisfail in far north Queensland. It was here that his Chinese great-grandfather settled in the late 1880s, along with many other Chinese working in plantations. In an interview with the Cairns Post, he said, "We have always known that we are Chinese, but when you're born with dark skin and black hair in North Queensland, you're only ever regarded as Aboriginal. Any opportunity to exercise my Chineseness or my broader Asianness was never afforded me growing up." He grew up mainly with Indigenous communities, especially the Kuku-Yalanji, Wanji and Yidinji peoples. Vernon's obsession with drawing began even before he was 5 years old. His interest had been sparked by his parents, who were both artists. In an interview with an arts association, he said he remembered his frequent visits to his grandmother's house when he was 3 or 4 years old. He would always be sitting on the floor drawing on pieces of paper. He said, "There are stories from my mother and my grandmother that I was easy to look after when I was a little fella because they would just give me things to draw with." During primary school, he read all the books he could find that taught anything about drawing, and his teachers saw right away his potential as an artist. The Ah Kee family moved from Innisfail to Cairns when Vernon was a teenager. In high school, he became a passionate sketcher and drawer. In 1996, he enrolled for an arts degree at the Queensland College of Art in Griffith University. He finished a bachelor's degree with a major in contemporary Indigenous Australian art. He then went on to do an honours degree in fine art. He went a step further and finished a doctorate in fine art in 2007. Vernon used his position and influence in the Australian art scene to encourage the work of urban-based Indigenous Australian artists in Queensland. In 2002, he and 3 other artists established Proper Now, an arts collective that aims to dispel the belief that Aboriginal people live only in remote areas, and that Aboriginal art is not only about the traditional bark dot paintings. Part of Vernon's work is to mentor and support artists to express social and cultural issues through their art. Vernon believes that the modern works of the artists would help re-establish the presence of urban Indigenous people in Australian society.